As many of you know, I previously procured 2 preliminary injunctions against Obama's National Security Agency for mass surveillance against the American people. Supreme Court justices, other judges, prominent businessmen like Donald Trump. Of course, I was the first to predict that the president had been wiretapped, his family, his staff, his colleagues. I was correct. People were laughing at that at the time. Didn't prove to be a laughing matter after the Russian witch hunts revealed much of what had gone on. And now there's a debate on whether to remove, that is, reenact, Freudian slip, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Senator Rand Paul has championed that. Rand Paul brought a lawsuit like I did. He never followed through with it. Follows through with very little, mostly talk as usual in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives, talk and no action. But I actually got 2 preliminary injunctions. So I am well aware of what the mass surveillance deep state intel community does. And right now, it is perpetrating a fraud. They have this mass surveillance capability, satellites, on-the-ground intelligence. They intercept internet communications, telephone communications worldwide. The National Security Agency keeps that for 5 years in a supercomputer in Utah. Consequently, our deep state intelligence community knows exactly what the cause was of the coronavirus, of COVID-19. They know that it was released from a Wuhan laboratory. They know that it was a bioweapon. The Chinese do test and create bioweapons. I have learned through experts that we've been in contact with over our class action lawsuit in Dallas, Texas, and Jerusalem, Israel, that in fact, it was manufactured to be lighter than air, the virus. That's why it spreads so quickly. It was injected with HIV, AIDS virus. It was ramped up to make it extremely deadly. But as usual, our government continues to lie to us. And as usual, the American people are deceived and left in the dark. But what's even worse is that networks such as Fox News perpetrate the lie that it's not a bioweapon. Now, they don't know one way or the other, but they've got to play it politically correct here, or there'll be retaliation, or perhaps some of their hosts will be exposed for things that they have done. No pun intended. So this is the lesson for today. And that is, don't believe a word the government tells you. There's this expression about lawyers. Are they lying? Well, they're lying if their mouths are moving. And of course, we know that most of the representatives in Congress are lawyers, and many on television stations as well are lawyers, and non-lawyers lie just as much, believe me. But the government is not to be believed anymore. What we need is an honest judge that will let this case go forward, that will bring in our experts, that we will get damages for the American people. We should not have to pay. China should have to pay. And whatever is holding the president back in going after China, and it's extremely frustrating to watch this, he's not doing the right thing. It's not enough to talk. It's enough to act. So as I say again, his attorney general should be supporting our class action lawsuit in Dallas, Texas, and the criminal complaint that we filed in The Hague. But we're not even looking to that support. But I'm telling you something. I don't care what side of the street the comments are coming from in the U.S. government. Don't believe it. And that is why we, the people, need to rise up. We need to do it peacefully and legally. We need to believe ourselves. We need to take legal action in our own hands, peaceful legal action. We need to get adequate compensation. We have filed this class action lawsuit asking for over $21 trillion of damage. We have filed a criminal case in The Hague, and let the facts speak for themselves. Not the BS that you hear on Fox News or CNN or MSNBC or read in the New York Times or Washington Examiner. Depends on what side of the spectrum you're in, but it's all BS. We need to do it for ourselves. So go to freedomwatchusa.org. Support our lawsuits concerning the coronavirus. We are on the cutting edge. We were the first to bring them. As usual, we were the first. We are your Justice Department. And contribute with tax-deductible contributions. We need to get bigger. We need to ramp up. We need more lawyers. And also sign up for our class action. We already have about 2,000 putative plaintiffs. You can share this podcast on radioamerica.com, on freedomwatchusa.org, on Spotify, on iTunes, on Roku, on Amazon Fire, on Twitter. Please get it out. And please listen carefully to what I have to say. I don't always get everything right, but I'm skeptical of anything the government tells us. And that goes, I'm 69 years old almost. It goes back to the Vietnam War when Lyndon Johnson got us into that with a phony Gulf of Tonkin attack. It goes to the phony weapons of mass destruction of Saddam Hussein, where the intelligence agencies gave W false information to try to lure him into what has proved to be a stupid and costly war in Iraq and later Afghanistan. They continuously lied to the American people. And don't believe what you hear on Fox News, frankly, even though it appears sometimes to try to act like it's on our side. It's not. It's run by the Murdoch brothers, ultra leftists. You cannot trust what you hear there either. And they're doing it for ratings, making money hand over fist during this crisis. Whenever the crisis seems to subside, they ramp up another crisis. Last few days, it was killer bees from Asia that are going to kill all of us. I mean, they're just a bunch of whores out there, to put it bluntly. And you can only depend on yourself. And that's why I go to freedomwatchusa.org. Support our class actions, our criminal case. And I want to thank you for your support and for listening to me. God bless you. God bless your family. God save your family. God save America. I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast of Special Prosecutor with Larry Klayman. Until then, stay safe.